Welcome to District 8. Despite the weather, we are moving ahead with our construction season. I'd like to talk about some general comments about District 8 and then some specific projects of interest. Leslie mentioned the statewide program in District 8. We have 104 projects that equates to about $326 million here in the 8-county region of District 8. One of the bridges we wanted to talk about that we're doing this year is the Hurst Street Bridge, and this press conference was originally intended to be outside. We wanted to be right down the roadway here, but we had 2 weeks in a row where the weather was pretty bad, so we'll have to make do with the internal meeting today. But Hurst Street Bridge over Paxton Creek between Cameron Street and 7th Street, that's going to get replaced later this summer. We're going to use accelerated bridge construction techniques for that. Everyone knows that's a key way to get in and out of the city, so we're going to do that project in about 10 days. If you go down to that site right now, you're going to see where the contractor is J.D. Eggman. In fact, Mike Brolowski is with us today as well if you have some questions later. You know, the precast beams and deck are in place, and and you've seen some other examples, some successful examples of that in the region. We're going to move on with that project and hopefully make that construction area just as painless as possible when we get started. Regionally, we have a lot of work going on our interstates. The I-83 overhead bridges is going to almost be wrapped up this year as we're out there working on 22 over I-83. Contractor's done a great job for us with a lot of traffic, just a tough project. We have the 283 Reconstruction Project, which actually started last season. This is the first major season where we're doing a traffic switch. We have the express lanes out there. Again, I just want to remind everyone to try to be patient as we work through that project. That's a $95 million improvement to reconstruct the roadway for about 6 miles. Also includes some work at Pennsylvania Turnpike. We were out on I-81 last year in Dauphin and Cumberland County. We have just a little bit of wrap-up work on that. We added a 3rd lane from I-83 over to Mountain Road, exit 72. Likewise in Cumberland County from 114 over to 581. Significant improvements for both of those projects as it helps morning and PM commute, less congestion, more safety. So we just have a little bit of wrap-up work that we're going to be doing on that. I-83, as you can see, I got a nice display here behind us. I'll talk about that a little bit here, but we have exit 18 reconstruction. It's about a $58 million project there off Mount Rose Avenue. We're doing some resurfacing work. Secretary spoke about us out there doing some pothole repairs. We're certainly doing that. We had some work just last week on I-83. We're going to continue to do that, but we also have a resurfacing project, a contract project. It's going to resurface milepost 4 to milepost 10. That'll be starting up shortly. We have another project that we're going to bid later in the year, so you may see just a little bit of work, and most of it will be in 2019. That's going to pick up a milepost 10 and take you to milepost 14. And as I just mentioned, we have we're actively in design for what we're calling the North York Widening project. We had a public meeting on March 29th. This was just one of the displays, so shows the overall limits of the project from just south of exit 19. We're going to butt right up against the work that's going on right now at Mount Rose Avenue. And that continues north through exit 22 there at North George Street. This is a $270 to $300 million investment. We're going to reconstruct and widen I-83. We're going to have 6 lanes, 3 in each direction. It's going to be all new structures. Significant amount of work, and we actually have some early action items that we're going to be bidding in 2018. So you'll see the start of this progress early in 2019 as we work through that. We have a small resurfacing project in Cumberland County in I-83. We're kind of picking up the pieces that we had with the work we did in the West Shore and the work we did just a few years ago down to the Turnpike bridges. So we have that project underway. This year we're going to bid now. I mentioned the overhead bridges on I-83 here in Dauphin County. We're also going to bid this summer the widening and reconstruction of I-83 from just south of Union Deposit over to I-81. Again, this is full reconstruction. It's going to be 3 lanes in each direction, plus the accel and decel lanes. It's important to get these overhead bridges completed to kind of set the footprint for the roadway work. This is about a $133 million investment. Like I said, we'll be bidding that this summer and moving ahead with the construction of that project. As you can see, we have our handy little Capital Beltway poster over there, which shows the work we've done in the past and the work we have planned, including the 283 and the project I just referenced. But keep in mind, we're also doing engineering on the Eisenhower interchange, and we're also doing engineering on the piece then from the Eisenhower over to the Susquehanna River. So we have a significant number of resurfacing projects, 60 bridges that are being done by contract traditional way, and another 42 bridges that we have in District 8 under the P3 program. So, a little over 100 bridges there as well. So this time I'd like to open it up for questions. I would like to just add one more thing to remind everyone to be patient through our work zones. Please slow down and pay attention. Please put the phones down and just drive and make sure our workers out there are safe. So this time we'll open up for questions.
Any idea like how many miles of roads are being worked on at the start of this summer construction season?
Oh, you mentioned what, 1,100 miles I think would be completed statewide.
Yeah, that'll be through pardon me, our 5-year program. I don't think we can get that number for you. I don't have it with me, but we have that number calculated and we can get it to you.
Can you talk just about how important all of this, it's obviously a nuisance for people driving through, but how important this is for quality of life and once it's eventually finished?
Yeah.
You can go and then I'll
yeah. So let's look at I-83 here through the Capital Beltway area. Every day you see congestion out there, and what happens with the congestion, first of all, it's an impact on safety. But the second thing that happens is traffic gets diverted on the secondary roadways. So you have roadways like Cameron Street, you have roadways like 22 out here, Paxton Street, that really have more traffic on than they were intended. So not only will a job like this increase the level of service for those using the interstates, add some capacity, but it will draw traffic off those secondary roadways as well, which is going to improve safety.